There's one thing you need to get your head around when it comes to learning songs on the saxophone, and that is understanding the key for your sax. So if something is in the key of G major, for example, on alto sax it's going to be in the key of E major, and on tenor sax it's going to be in the key of A major. How does this work and how do you figure all this out? I'm going to tell you everything in today's lesson. My name's Alexander Matthias, and if you want to get my transposition cheat sheet absolutely free for the alto, for the tenor, for the baritone, for soprano, go ahead and download it now. Go to saxophonemasterclass.com/transposition, and there's also a link in the description of this video. And once you download that, you can put it on your phone, you can put it on your iPad, you can print it off, and it's going to show you exactly what the keys are for your saxophone. And that's for every note, all 12 keys in Western music. So how do you figure out the key of a song? Well, there's 3 different ways. Number 1, you can literally just search for it on Google. So let's say you want to know what the key of Amazing Grace is. Well, if you find the version you're trying to learn by the artist you're trying to learn it from, you can sometimes just search in Google. So let's say you're trying to learn Amazing Grace, but you're trying to learn the version by Andrea Bocelli. The first thing you do is figure out the album which you learned it from, and then search for Amazing Grace by Andrea Bocelli and the album name, and then put key at the end. Sometimes Google will actually bring up the key of Amazing Grace for that version, and that's going to really help you. But the problem with this is that you still have to transpose it for your saxophone. So let's say Andrea Bocelli sings it in the key of C major, for example, then on the alto or baritone sax it would be A major, and on the tenor or soprano sax it would be D major. And again, I show you all this inside my transposition cheat sheet. So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to figure out what the key is and then transpose it for your saxophone. And an easy way to do that is just to Google it, but make sure you put the name of the artist and the version that you're trying to learn from the album or a live version, and then put the word key at the end. The second way to figure out the key of a song is to get the sheet music for your saxophone, or just get the sheet music where you can read the individual notes. It could be for flute, it could be for clarinet, it could be for trumpet, but if you can read the individual notes and look at the key signature of the song, then you're going to be able to figure out the key, because every key signature indicates what key the piece of music is in. So let's say the key signature has no sharps, no flats. This would be the key of C major. However, it could be a minor key, and the relative minor would be A minor. How do you know this? You could look at the last note of the piece of music, and if the last note is C, then it would be C major. If the last note is A, it would be A minor. If the key signature has 1 sharp, then we know this is in the key of G major. And again, this could also be E minor, which is the relative minor. You just look at the last note of the piece of music, and if it's a G, it would be G major. If it's an E, it would be E minor. And this is another great way to figure out what the key of the song is. The third best way to figure out the key of a song is through the process of elimination. So you can actually use your ear to figure out what scale is being used in the song. Through the process of elimination, you play a note. If it sounds wrong, then that note is probably not in the key. If that note is not in the key, you just go a half step up or a half step down, and that should be one of the notes in the key. You do this process of elimination until you get 7 notes, and you put those 7 notes together to create a scale. So if the notes happen to be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, 7 notes, that's actually the G major scale. If the notes happen to be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, that's 7 notes. That happens to be the D major scale. But again, it could be the relative minor. So if it was the notes of G major, the relative minor would be E minor. If it was the notes of D major, the relative minor would be B minor. And this is where it gets a little more complicated to figure out the exact key, because sometimes minor keys have even more notes in them depending on the scale that they use to create the song. Sometimes they use a harmonic minor scale to build the melody. Sometimes they use a melodic minor scale to build the melody, etc., etc. So that's where it gets a little more complicated, but you can figure out at least the notes that are being used in a song by a process of elimination, by just simply playing a note, seeing if it sounds good. If it doesn't, go up a half step or down a half step, and that note will probably be within the key of the song. So that's 3 ways to figure out the key of a song on a saxophone. Again, if you want to learn more about how to transpose for the sax, go ahead and get my saxophone transposition cheat sheet at saxophonemasterclass.com/transposition. There's a link below in the description of this video. And once you figure out the key, you want to figure out what the scale is, what the notes are. And I have a ton of videos on this channel teaching you different scales and different fingerings. But if you want to know more about how scales work, then go ahead and check out the Saxophone Mastery Secrets Guide. There's a link below this video, or you can just go to saxophonemasterclass.com/secrets. And I explain all the different keys in Western music. I explain how many sharps, how many flats are in different keys, whether it's major, whether it's minor. It's all inside that guide, and it's completely free. So go ahead and download it now, and that's really going to help you with figuring out the key of a song. If you want some more pro tips on how to learn songs fast on the saxophone, check out this next video. I go into a lot more depth on how you can start learning songs on the sax. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, comment below, like this video. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, happy playing.